Hi, and welcome to our relationship with writing. I am KT Carlisle,
I'm Anthony Lafusi.
and we are going to talk today about marketing your book. First of all, though, don't you love our new room?
Oh my gosh, yes. Welcome to our new space.
Welcome to the
This is
space.
the office in which we both write at the same time simultaneously.
That's true.
It's my favorite thing about this space and doing this is like you can see my screen, but I have no idea what you're doing back there. I just hear you like a machine gun, just just yeah, just levitate all of those words. It's crazy. It's intimidating. You ever sit there like in a room? You ever go to like Starbucks? I've never actually done this. I've only seen this in movies, but you know when people go to Starbucks
I used
and
to do that,
they all
yeah.
write books. Yeah, see, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. And you're the person who was like everyone else was like. I'm gonna drink and I'll write a couple words this hour. Like if I get 8 words out, I feel good. And you're just like, yeah, good luck. You know, sipping coffee's too
Bruce
late.
Almighty in the corner.
Yeah,
Answering every
yeah,
prayer.
it's crazy. And I'm like, I wrote 3 words. I feel like Donatello in the Ninja Turtles, like, and anyway, but it's so funny because like every once in a while you'll look up and you're like, you'll just start talking, and I'm like, I finally wrote a thing.
Shut up!
It's so
No,
funny.
because we
I
talk
love.
about this all the time. Like, I wear headphones so I
Yeah,
can really focus.
we have like we should do an episode on that too, like
We
the
really
interesting
should.
techniques of like
Yes.
ritualistic writing. If
Yes.
you have any like weird writing rituals, like write below just so we have an
Yeah,
idea of
tell
what
us
other people
about
do.
that.
Anyway, okay, we're getting a little carried away
Okay,
here.
topic.
Off topic. What's the topic
Do
today?
we like each other or something?
Wait a second.
No, we are going to talk about writing. This came at the request of Janelle. Thank you, Janelle, for watching. But this has also been a question that I've been receiving a lot lately because I will be honest, I don't know why. Well, I do know a little bit why this is happening, but I had my most recent book take off for pre-sales. I'm at 304 so far at the time of this
It's
recording.
been
3 weeks
insane.
since you looked
And
at me.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. As soon as I began my sentence, I was like, she's gonna hit this. There's no way I can get out. I've already dug this grave and I'm about to
Yep.
just but yeah, it's been 3 weeks since like your life started blowing up.
Yeah.
Like it's been for those who are out there, of course, we're going to be talking about marketing tactics and that sort of thing, like how you got to this
Mhm.
point. But much like a lot of the viewers out there, you were getting to a place where you weren't feeling good about where
Oh,
you
I
were with this
wasn't.
book.
I was getting real dark. Yeah, I was ready to like give up. I was really just like getting really down on myself and not understanding what I was doing wrong
Yeah.
and how I could make it better. Um, and to be honest with you, in retrospect, a lot of the blame was on my shoulders because I wasn't doing the things that I should have been doing that I know how to do
Right.
to build myself up and get to where I am now. So I just kind of buckled down and realized that I needed to just go ahead and do it because nobody's going to do it for you, especially if you're an indie author and you're doing it all on yourself. But in the same vein, and this is something that I found out today listening to another podcast, is that only 2% of the budget from major publishing houses, the big five, is allocated towards marketing. And most of that budget, if not all of it, is going towards authors who are already established,
That's that,
already bestseller. I
yeah,
know.
that's maddening because I mean, if you're out there right now and you're a writer who's working, in the trenches, trying to query, trying to do this in that meat thresher of the career that we're trying, the trajectory that we all see, that path that's been laid out ahead of us,
Yeah.
we see that and we imagine once you get to this certain level and you do have the agent, they do have you put your book on sub or whatever it is, and your book is getting published, you imagine that there's like the Wizard of Oz is back there, like putting out all of
Working
this,
all his
working all his
magic,
magic behind the curtain,
acting on your
acting
behalf,
on your behalf, like
in your best
in your best
interest.
interest, of course. But really, it's not. It's more like the Wicked Witch situation,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's just like you're all the monkeys, and we're hoping you bring us back some Dorothy's ruby slippers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, it's on you. It's not on
Yeah.
us. You'll go do it, monkeys.
Oh,
What?
looks like your contract's up and you're fired. Yeah, so
That's bizarre to me. Like,
it is. It is
hearing
very
that,
bizarre.
I mean, I feel like disillusioned. I'm just like,
I know.
I've always been the more cynical of the two of us as far as like the traditional publishing. I've always gone
Very
like let's
cynical.
yeah, I've always been more like let's just do it ourselves. We don't need them. Like let's not let them define our success and all this. However, I understand. I get why people want
Yeah.
to do it. Of course, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to become the next Stephen King or Joe Hill or whoever else they spawn in that weird like cryogenic lab or like that where they like clone writers and create people
Yeah.
like so I don't know how they make.
You said that, and I was just like, yeah. And then I realized what you said, and I was like,
Wait,
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 what?
what? No, but it's a lottery. It's a lot like that
It really is,
level of success. Although, yes, it does take a lot of work and you do have to put forward
100%.
a lot of effort. And it does it's not to take anything from anyone who reaches that level of success. However, there are a lot of writers who write to the same quality and write the same amount, have the same amount of input or output rather, and still will never reach that amount of success because their dominoes don't line up in such a way that they've been
Yes.
flicked over and enough to let the world see
Yeah,
their
and
goals.
it's sad because, and I've seen a lot of great writers just
Yeah,
kind of give up on themselves, get really discouraged about the whole process, disillusioned, like you're
yeah,
saying, like, and honestly, that, I mean, I hate to see it, but it's just, it's not the way, there are, you take it and you see it and you say, okay, what can I do?
right.
And a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, you need a huge budget to do well, and you need to, put all your money into that. And honestly, I felt that way just last year. Candidly, I spent probably $20,000 trying just investing into myself. I know. Just dumping money into Amazon ad campaigns and getting a publicist and doing all of these crazy things that I thought were going to put me over the edge and make me successful.
Right. And from what I've heard of your stories, some of it was
Some of it was
actual,
great.
some of it was effective, and some of
Yes,
it not so much. And I
exactly.
think we're here to say that you have a lot of experience here. I have a little bit of experience marketing like podcasts and getting comic book stuff off the ground, and a little bit of that stuff, and social media marketing and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So we do have some personal experience, and we've learned a lot of lessons in here.
Oh, yeah. Hard
So
lessons the hard way.
and so we're here to help you understand what you can do, like the do's and
Yes.
don'ts of marketing, and we're gonna get into those right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that I would say, and I say this to all of my clients for what I do in my day job anyway, when I was marketing, especially on social media, a lot of clients would come to me and say, okay, I want the whole shebang. I want to be on every social media platform.
Yeah.
I want to create content for every single thing that's out there. And I would always tell them, I don't think that that's the right thing to do. And here's why. You see these, especially in the book community, you have Book Talk. You've got Twitter, you've
Yeah.
got Instagram, and those are typically the like three most effective. A lot of people will also go on Facebook, depending on, who your market is and what your age group that you're targeting and all that. But I always tell my clients, just because a social media platform exists
Mhm.
doesn't mean you need to be there.
That's fair.
And I recognize that a lot of indie authors, especially, are finding a great deal of success on TikTok.
Right.
My brother is a musician.
Yeah.
He's got a great following on
Mhm.
TikTok. He loves it. You know what else my brother loves to do? Scroll mindlessly through TikTok videos
Yeah.
and interact and be an active part of that community.
That's
Me,
fair.
I don't like
Not so
to do
much.
that.
I I understand the intention. And I recognize like the inclination because I myself like I feel that all the time when I see and I like what I recognize at least in myself is that I'll be on Twitter, right? And then I'll
Mhm.
see someone post about their success on a different social platform and I think,
Yes.
ooh, maybe if I was there, I could also achieve that particular success,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And of course, that's because we're just seeing like the tip of that social media iceberg.
Right.
We're not seeing the hours like your brother is scrolling and
Of
commenting and
course.
engaging and doing all that. We're
Yeah.
just seeing, oh my gosh, we see results. We're seeing the big
Exactly.
picture or like, just the what am I saying? A snapshot. We're just seeing a snapshot of their
Mhm.
success that looks like an easy, they're making it
Right.
look easy. It's a
Yeah.
portrait of the day.
But the truth of the matter is that you need to be as active a member in that platform as you are posting about yourself and promoting yourself
Right.
and things of that nature, because social media is a very give and take relationship.
Yeah.
You won't get as much back
Right.
if you aren't putting that out there
I
to
kind
begin
of
with.
yeah, I kind of think of it like gardening. You know, like I imagine like if you plant a seed in Twitter, and like
You reap what you
you have to
sow,
yeah,
for
you have to
sure.
go, you water that seed, you spend time there, you see what other plants are growing in the area, you help others with their pesticides and whatever it may be. But then when you look over and you see like, oh my gosh, there's a crop like an awesome cornfield over there, and you're like, oh crap, I have to grow corn, but it takes time to grow corn. You can't just
Yes.
magically have a stalk of corn,
Yeah.
you know? So, but when you see it, you're like, I want to eat some corn. Like popcorn's delicious, you
Right?
know? So like you go over there and you're like, then you get discouraged because you're like, why do I not suddenly have a maze of
Yeah.
corn? You
Well,
know, like what is
let
happening?
me unpack that gardening analogy even further. So you have all these seeds, right? And you're taking care of them all, and some of them are doing better than others. And that might be for various reasons. You're watering one more than the other because you love it a little bit
Yeah.
more. I really like arugula. I want it to grow.
Fair.
The cucumbers I'm not too concerned about. I feel like they're gonna grow enough on their own. But that's not always the case, especially if they're located in the shade and I can't see them or don't even look at
See,
them.
that's yeah.
So for me,
And
that's
that's
TikTok.
that I was gonna say, and for me, that's like Facebook, and I'm like, I don't want to go over there. That's like that stuff grows on its own. Those are weeds to me and treasure to other people who are
Exactly.
over, 70, and
Yes.
also my parents. No, I'm kidding. But I'm just kidding.
Shout
Shade.
out to the 70-year-olds.
Yeah. No, but that being said, yeah, so it's you do reap what you sow. You do have to be there. You do have to tend to your garden wherever it may be, and although it is possible to maintain a respectable garden in various places, it's exhausting, it's time
Hmm.
consuming, and honestly, you're going at some point to burn out or take away
Yes.
time from the other part of the work. It can't like writing can't be 100% marketing, right?
No. No, and it shouldn't. But I'll tell you this. You have to manage your expectations with this stuff too, because yes, you do see the occasional stories of overnight successes,
Right.
and as Anthony points out, that can be kind of discouraging in a way because yeah, we're all indies and
Yeah.
or we're querying authors and we want to support one another and be there for one another, but at the same time, we can't ignore the fact that it doesn't always feel good to see
No.
somebody
Yeah.
else be so successful and you're just thinking to yourself, what the f am I doing wrong? Like why
It's
not me?
yeah, it's funny because I think that's something that we all that's like the duality of the writer,
Yeah.
right? Because like the duality of the community because there's no true competition, but there is in a
Yes.
sense that like you want the success
Right.
in the same way that you want, your friends to succeed. I
Hmm.
will always cheer your success, but like okay, like honestly, obviously I'm like, "Oh man, you're doing so great on social media and I can't cheer for you enough." But lately I've been like suffering on Twitter and but I recognize, as I'm sure a lot of our viewers will recognize, like there are like seasons for certain types of posts and certain
Yes.
people, and like I know that like I always have a very busy, popular time of the year, and then it's just like it dwindles and it kind of like peaks
Yeah.
and valleys throughout the year.
Yeah.
But so I can't always treat every bad moment like it's forever,
Right.
and similarly, if you're having a bad moment in your writing, it's just the same thing. You have to work through it in various ways.
100%. Yeah.
In marketing, sometimes that means that you're in the wrong garden, and sometimes that means you're just not simply doing
Yeah.
certain things. So, what are some of the things that people could be doing?
So, what I will say is this, if you are having trouble understanding which is the platform for you, I would say, and especially if you're just getting started, go ahead and try them all at
Yeah.
first. Establish a presence, be active in as many of them as you can. And if you find yourself leaning more towards one than all the others, that's a good indication of the fact that you're more likely to use that platform. It speaks to you and you're able to build a community there. But you're also probably going to see better analytics for yourself. And those are free on almost every platform. So you should be able,
Almost,
yeah,
but yeah.
almost. Not on Twitter. I have access to those because I am a blue check mark. I know. I'm sorry, everybody.
Boo! No, no,
Boo.
I'm kidding. But can I? I didn't want to interrupt you, but I do want to say, I know a lot of people are going to hear that because I know I've been at this place on social media, and like I know a lot of people here be active on social media and
Yeah.
engage. Now, a lot of people are going to say, I post every day.
Oh yeah,
A
no,
lot of
that's
people are
not
going to
what I
say,
mean.
a lot of people are going to say, I post my links all the time and no
Yeah,
one cares. A lot of people are going to say, I try, and I know, like, it sucks. It sucks. And like, I'm the worst with these kind of dances.
he's so negative
I'm
about
so
it.
negative about it. I hate it. I don't feel like I've ever wanted to be on social media. Like I've
Oh
only
yeah,
ever been on social media to serve a specific purpose. Now, that being said, I've found various things to enjoy about social media. I've made
and
fans. I've made a fiance. I created her from the dirt.
here I know,
No, no, but
homunculus Katie.
so I made a homunculus. No, but okay, but there are things that I learned to appreciate, and and those are the things that I focus on, the things that
Yeah,
I found joy in, and that's how I found Twitter, where I was like, this is the one that I was finding most joy in.
yeah,
I was celebrating little victories here and there wherever I could find them, and I was enjoying it. That being said, I hate playing the specific games that you have to play in order to manipulate the algorithms. And
yeah.
I know a lot of other people are probably going to relate to that because it freaking stinks. Like
It does stink.
knowing for instance that like if you share links, you are throttled in the algorithm to a certain
Yes.
extent depending on how you do it and how often you do it.
And a lot of people will say, oh, that's only especially true on X
Right.
because of everything that Elon's doing.
Right.
That's
But
not true at all.
no.
Actually, it's been going on Facebook and Instagram for years now.
Yeah.
It's also true on TikTok. I mean, like as long any platform that you use, you have to understand that they want to keep you there.
Right.
And that's their goal. So anytime that you post links, I had somebody ask me, oh, why aren't you posting links to your book and or your website and everything? I'm like, well, if I do that, then you wouldn't have seen this post at all.
Exactly. And that leads to, what I was trying to get to is not just posting and like not just using a specific platform, but engaging with others
Yes.
on the platform in a meaningful way as
Yes.
much as you can. Like,
So let me elaborate on what he means by meaningful because there is a rule that I like to apply to not just myself, but any of my clients, which is called the 80/20 rule.
yeah,
So I'll do 80% posts about, my personal life, things completely unrelated to writing, or things that are related to writing, but just not about my books.
yeah.
Examples of that might be updates on my progress or the writing experience itself.
Yeah.
I'll post a lot of writerly questions, or I won't post anything except replies to other people's posts because you have to remember that if you're just shouting out into the void and expecting people to
Right.
come and talk to you, but you're not giving them that same respect and commenting on their posts and interacting with the things that they put out there,
Yeah.
you're not going to get that back. It's like a karma game.
100%. I suggest because I fall into this terrible trap a lot of the time where like I become I become like upset with the general social media scrolling like doom of it all.
Yeah.
Like I don't engage with most of what people want to put out into the world. So I find myself like not wanting to scroll at all. So what I've found most effective is creating lists on various social
Yeah.
medias where I can. Where whatever social media will allow me to make a list, I will make a list and I will deliberately make a list of people who post things that I actually want to engage with.
Yes.
That way I can look at the list and I can know it's not just going to be a bunch of random links. It's going to be like fun things, things that make me want to have a response in a positive way. Because the more you positively engage with people, the more you connect with them. It's not like you're building relationships through people, and
To doom scroll and see a bunch of
exactly.
politics
Yeah.
or like, crazy nonsense
Well,
that's
and if
going
they
on.
do, those people are less likely to buy your book, so you're like
Yes.
less likely to want to be in those spaces.
Right.
That's
Right.
the issue.
But as you start to engage and as people start to engage with you, the algorithm will kind of work in your favor in that it will naturally populate with things in your feed that adhere to that, what you want to see and what people want to see from you. But anyway, so that is 80% of what I do. The other 20% is self-promotional, shameless posting and things, but you need to be a little bit strategic about it because as I've said before, I can't just put up a post with a link in that post, the, organic post itself. And what I mean by organic is the original post. So what I will do on Twitter, and I'm going to speak a lot about this from the perspective of Twitter because that for
That's
me is what works the best.
Mhm.
Um, but for you, it might be something different. So, go ahead and read up on that if there are other rules that you want to follow. But I know that this is also true for Facebook, is that if you post a something with the link itself, the visibility right off the bat is going to go down the drain.
100%
So you work
frustrating.
around it. It's very frustrating. You work around that in two ways. I always post something that has a link
Mhm.
underneath it with a picture
Right.
because it's going to boost visibility naturally. Anything that has an image attached to it is going to gain you more visibility. And then underneath of it, I'll add, like a thread or something.
Mhm.
I'll add the link down there.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful of trigger words too,
Right.
because there are
Yeah.
certain things and phrases that social media platforms will innately target and discourage because,
Yeah.
again, they want to trap you there.
Yeah.
And it's so silly.
It's so
But
silly.
saying things like "go buy this,"
Yeah.
pre-order,
Yeah. Ugh.
Amazon, just the word Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anything that could be potentially related to shopping or clicking on a link or the word link itself.
I
You will
know.
never see me say the
The
word
word
link.
link. Ugh.
I'll put a little
I'm
like chain link
I know, I know.
emoji.
I've been wondering like to what extent that's going to be effective or like to how long that's going to be effective. Like
So
eventually they're going.
as of the time of
Yeah,
this recording, the algorithm is not sophisticated enough to
right.
pick up on emojis.
Emojis.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah, yeah.
probably going
It's
to
gonna
change
change
sometime in the
sometime.
future,
Yeah,
and
so
it's
see.
going to fuck us royally.
Yeah,
But
it will.
for now, we can take advantage of that and
Yeah.
we can,
Yeah. Oh
work
yeah.
our way around it and get crafty because after all, we are writers. We should be able to
100%.
find other ways to word things
So
that will
yeah,
allow
so
us to succeed.
So I think like if you're out there right now and you're becoming discouraged with your social media presence and like if you're not yielding any marketing results or any positive results in sales and such, like maybe just take a step back, treat your own profile as if you're a stranger who when you want to see if you're going to follow this person,
That is a great piece of advice
right?
and is something that I have approached my own page with. And it's easy for me, I think,
Yeah.
because I use a pen name and I kind of treat my author profile as a persona that is
Right.
not me.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to separate myself. It might not be as easy for others who are using their, real names out there. But do try that. I think that's a great
I th
piece of advice.
Well, I think it makes sense because I get we get follow everyone gets followed by random people throughout the day or throughout the
Yeah.
days, and the more you engage in social media, and you want to intelligently follow people back. You don't want to
Yes.
follow random everyone back, or else there's gonna be it's gonna be chaos, you know. So you look and you see like what sort of things am I looking for? I'm looking for like unique posts, something like not like oh you have to like impress me, but just make sure they're actually people who are actually having thoughts and they're not just a robot who's
Yeah.
repeating the same thing over and over. So if you
Or
are or
reposting other
reposting
people's
other
posts
or
over and
reposting
over.
other people's posts over and
Yeah.
over. So if you see those sort of repetitive posts in your own timeline, recognize that like other people are going to see your posts, see, oh, they post the same thing all the time. I've seen it once. I've seen everything they're ever going to share, and they're less likely to hit that follow button, which means they're less likely to see your post, which means they're less likely to engage and eventually, hopefully, maybe help you sell a book.
Yeah. Yeah. All great advice. So that is what I would say as far as, taking off on social media and making it work for you.
Right.
Some people might tell you, oh, you should advertise on social media, or you should advertise on Amazon. You can do that. I have run campaigns in the past. They have not been very successful. I've dumped a lot of money into them. But to be honest with you, I didn't realize because I have experience with pay-per-click advertising on the Google marketing side
Yeah.
of things. And a lot of different places, especially with pay-per-click marketing, it's pretty much the same with every platform, but every platform is a little bit different.
Right.
But silly, stubborn me was like, I'm good. I understand it enough
Right.
that I'm gonna be successful at it, and I don't need to use the automatic targeting because that is beneath me. I'm more advanced than that.
So previously on
Previously.
KT's life. So you tried it, you weren't very successful, but you do have a new campaign that you're running now, right?
Yes, I
So
do.
we can get back to the people and let them know once like we have some more information, we can tell
Yes.
them how successful this particular campaign is and what you've done differently, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I did was my sister-in-law is actually very experienced in Amazon ads, and I did not know that until very recently. So we met up, and she helped me create a new campaign. It hasn't started delivering yet, but we are going to make some strategic changes and take a more, involved approach to it rather than setting it and forgetting it like
Right.
I had done in
That's
the
yeah.
past.
No, that's it
And
was
I think that if you are going to go the advertising route, you either need to have a professional who has experience by your side. If you are that professional, be committed to checking in with it every day because you don't want to fall into a situation like I did, where even though I was in there checking it every day, or I wasn't in there checking it every day, I was spending a bunch of money on things that I shouldn't have been
right.
spending on.
That's fair.
Take advantage of negative keyword targeting and negative product targeting. We'll talk about that in the follow-up episode on Amazon ads
Yeah.
specifically, once I've had a chance to really
I
analyze
see.
this
Yeah.
and work with my sister-in-law a little bit more and give you guys a more informed uh, spiel on all that.
Yeah.
But for now, it's the social media side of things because 304 pre-sales, that is literally all that it's come from. I haven't spent any money on the campaign really yet. It's barely started to deliver, and no sales have been generated from that.
No.
So, all of those have come from just posting on Twitter,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me.
Now, here's a thing though, okay? I know some people out there are going to be saying, you're a female. You're also an attractive female. I think you're the most
Depends
beautiful
on who
person.
you
Of
ask.
course, I think you're the most gorgeous person in the world. I understand. I'm biased. However, I love you. Thank you. However, you've been on Twitter for over a year, well
Yep.
over a year now, right?
Hmm.
And you've slowly been amassing followers.
Yes.
And I've noticed even since we've met that your posts have changed over time.
Yeah.
Like you've been consciously, or it seems you've been consciously like adjusting your content or like the sort of things you post and also when you post
Yes.
and you've been actively engaged in trying to grow your account.
Yeah.
And it's been working is and
Hmm.
that's why we're talking it's
Yeah.
and I'll tell you as someone who isn't a beautiful woman I've done the same thing that's like I have like 17,000 followers or whatever on Twitter because I have spent time consciously trying to see what works for people. And here's the thing, I've never I'm kind of a goofball in that I refuse to pander. So like
Yes.
and so I won't chase trends. I won't like do any of that stuff, but I will if I post things that I love and I'm like, "Oh, people really like it when I come up with movie ideas." I'm like, all I love coming up with movie ideas." Ha
That
ha
is
ha ha
how I
ha.
found you
So
and was completely enamored with everything that you said.
I love you. So, but that's the thing is, I like. There's a thing. It was like a It's like a Michael Scott Wayne Gretzky thing, but it was
Yes.
like I learned it from Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith was quoting Wayne Gretzky. But what he says is, Wayne Gretzky said, I never chased the puck. I always went where the puck was going to be. So it's like always, instead of like trying to chase the trends, just go to where you feel is like you belong most,
Yeah.
and then that's where the people will accumulate.
And I think
That's
that's a great definition of what people say when they tell you to be authentic online.
exactly
Is you don't want to be someone who's constantly reposting the trendy thing
right.
that is going viral that day. You don't want to be the person who's just trying to appear relevant. You want to be you.
Yeah,
And people respond when they feel that they're getting the side of you. On my feed, I talk about my books. I've been talking about I know what I saw very frequently. I'm kind of breaking my 80/20 rule honestly these
I
days
know. I've
because
noticed that, but
I recognize that and it's okay. It's a rule, but rules are made to be broken, just like in writing. We don't follow every single one all the time.
I
But
follow none of them.
none of them on purpose. My books suck. No, but but you don't have to you don't have to be so rigid with it. Go with what you recognize is working and take advantage of it for as long as you can until you realize, okay, it stopped working. Now what do I do? Play with something else. I've been breaking my 80/20 rule, but usually what I will post about are things that mean a lot to me. So for me, that's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm a very big advocate for helping people get out of very bad situations like I was in. I'll talk about my dogs. My Yoda gets a lot of attention. People love him because I mean, how could you
He's the
not?
second best dog.
He is the best dog. Don't tell Blue I said that though. If any of you tell Blue, they're both the best. They're
Blue's
equally the best dogs for different reasons. Anyway, but Yoda is like, he's got that face, just a little handsome.
Right.
I'm sorry, he's cute. I can't help it. Anyway.
And dogs. Here's the Dogcast. How you doing? Hey everyone, we're here to talk about dogs.
I'll talk about us a lot. So finding ways to resonate with your audience in a way that doesn't always have to do with writing or your books is a great way to get people to take note, feel like they know you a little bit better. Because if you keep bombarding people with, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, or this, just like in general, do not do this. Do not go on someone else's post.
I knew you were going to say that.
That is promoting their book and promote your own book. It is such a tacky, horrible thing to do, and it's a surefire way for that person to either block you, they're definitely not going to buy your book, and other people are going to see that and say, oh wow, that's tacky, and I'm not going to buy that person's book. So don't do that. Don't be that person. Unless, and this is a very big unless, the person is actually asking for that in their post. Like, hey, I'm looking for book recommendations or whatever. Sometimes people will do that and be like, but not your own, which I think is dumb.
I think that's dumb. When people ask for a book recommendation, that's one thing. But like, you know what I really don't like? When someone posts about any topic and then someone will pop in and be like, my book mentions that a little, and I'm like, well, come on, can I just talk about
this is not your
time. If I'm like, hey, do werewolves, like if you chop off a werewolf's ear, does it turn back to a human ear, or does it stay a werewolf ear until the moon goes away? Like if I ask that question, right, if I say that and then someone pops in and they're like, well, you should read my werewolf book, I'm like, I don't want to. Now I don't want to. Like I probably would have. I bought werewolf, but I love werewolves, but now I don't like this. I don't like you now. So go away. The moon isn't out. Stop being a monster.
It's as bad as getting that tacky DM from a slimy book marketer saying, hello, author so-and-so. In what genre do you write? Like, no, get lost. I don't know. Take a hike. Take a hike with the other guy.
Completely. Those are the worst. Those are clearly robot scammer situations. So, do you have any final words on social media?
Final words on social media. Just a quick recap, I guess, for everybody. This was too long. Didn't watch. This is what you need to know. Take time to find what works for you, the platform that works for you, the platform that you want to be on the most. Once you find that platform, post about things that matter to you that aren't related to what you're selling. 80% of the time, 20% of the time, self-promo is fine. When you are self-promoting, be sure that you're aware of how the algorithm works. Don't post links directly. Don't use trigger words that might get you lower visibility. And also give as much back to the community as you expect to receive in return.
Of course.
So comment on other people's posts.
You reap what you sow.
Exactly. Repost other people's posts with a comment. Don't just repost and leave it. Repost with a comment. Use images when you can, if you have them. If you don't feel comfortable using images, use a GIF. People love them.
Oh yeah.
They're great. They're funny.
100%.
I use them a lot when I don't feel like using an image of my own. If you have pets, throw them up. People love pets. So yeah, those are really like my biggest things on social media and how you can be the most successful on it. And I will say this also in closing, be patient. Because like he's mentioned, I was on social media for a year and a half. You've been on social media for many, many years, many, many moons, many werewolf cycles.
So many werewolf birthdays.
So many werewolf birthdays have passed under Anthony's social media presence.
Is the moon a werewolf's birthday? Like every time, or is it do they count when they were bit by the werewolf?
Just full of great, sexy questions. I love you.
Is that like is it is that their birthday or is it like the day they were born? Do they know? Is it a different wolf every time?
So many questions I can't answer because I'm not a werewolf, and I wish I was one.
Not yet.
You just.
No, okay.
And that's the last episode.
It's the first episode of our werewolf honeymoon show.
But anyway, be patient. It takes a long time. Try not to get frustrated with it. Some days are better than others. Some days I feel fucking invisible. Like there are just some days that nothing works and it sucks. Just push through it, come back again the next day, and you might be pleasantly surprised with how much you take off out of nowhere.
100%. You never know when that day is going to come.
Yeah.
And as long as you're doing something that you're enjoying, that's why we leaned into that so much because it is a time-consuming, soul-crushing aspect of writing just and every time you find those soul crushing aspects of writing you have to find the little joys wherever you can so yeah do what you can in those places celebrate those small victories instead of looking at the people with 200,000 followers just say like hey I got one today and then like maybe the next week it'll be hey I got 5 today right. And just like allow those small victories and also forgive yourself for not doing so well on social media it's random and you never know what's going to hit. You never know when someone's randomly going to go viral and you just never know. And it's just like being traditionally published in that it's a lottery. And that's why we lean into doing it ourselves because at least we have some control. We know we're going to be doing this stuff anyway. And, right. We can lean into some of the silly werewolf nonsense if we want to.
100%.
So, anyway, so did you want to talk about anything other than social media? Do you have any other marketing things or what else was in your...
Leave it there for now. We'll come back to other questions. If you have other questions about marketing, anything that we didn't discuss here that you're curious about, that you want to know more about, let us know in the comments. We will come back to the Amazon ads, like I said, once we've had a bit of time to test and see 100%. What is going on.
Hang on, before we go, just to like give a couple of random ideas, right? Like we've both been on different podcasts.
Yeah.
Like you go on, like you can like through social media, you make those friends, you make those connections, you meet people who have shows, and no matter what the size of the show, like we just started this show, we don't know how successful it's going to be, how many people are going to watch it right now. If you're watching, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit the like button, maybe the notification bell. I don't know what helps the algorithm on YouTube yet. We're still working through it.
We are still learning.
But just know, like do whatever you can in your particular little spaces. If you do meet people like us, if you want to talk to us and we can start interviewing authors and stuff,
that'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll start talking to people about their marketing tactics and their writing processes and that sort of stuff. And we can release separate videos with like, interviews. If you're interested in that sort of thing, comment below, let us know. But you can do that yourself. You can also go on various shows. You can, and if you don't feel comfortable being on camera, you can do various audio productions. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can be interviewed in so many publications that are text only. Like what's Safi? Safi does a text only one, right?
Indiosyncrasy. Go on indiosyncrasy.com. We will link it in the description here so you know where to find her. Safi Asteria. She is the best.
She is.
She is a true champion of the indie community.
She really is.
Very fabulous human.
Yeah.
But she is doing wonderful things and helping readers connect with writers and vice versa.
Yeah.
It is a truly amazing thing that she's doing. She has a different author feature every week and a whole spotlight for them on her website and she does do interviews and things of that nature with her own podcast, so go check her out for sure. She is super nice, super personable, amazing, just an amazing, I can't say enough nice things about her.
Yeah.
Love you, Safi.
Love you. But yeah, we find amazing people like Safi, find people who are out there trying to promote things that are similar to what you do and see how likely it is for you to get your foot in the door. And honestly, if you knock and you try, it's always more likely than you expect. You can talk to a lot of people and you never know who's going to hear your interview or read your interview or see something about your book and it's going to click with them. You never know, so if you're out there, just like we said, you should try every social media. You should, cast that net out there and get your book out in various ways. Don't think about it in just traditional ways. Don't think I have to get famous on TikTok or my book will fail. Think, what else can I do for my book? How else can
Yeah,
I possibly get my book in people's ears and eyeballs? Like
right?
what can we do?
Another great Wayne Gretzky quote. You miss
100.
100% of the shots you don't take. Ooh, Michael Scott said that.
You're amazing. I love you. But there's so many things that you should do and shouldn't do. And I think like we covered generally
Yeah.
the base of social media and how to behave or how what could be very effective on any particular social media. And of course there's nuance to the various, sites and apps and
Yeah.
everything.
Like I said, I
I
spoke a lot from the point of view of Twitter because that's what works for
yeah,
me.
and then
It's
we know
not a
like
blanket statement for every other platform out there.
and of course, and there are going to be people who will never get any success on Twitter, and there will be some people who will get ridiculous success on Facebook, for
Oh,
instance,
yeah.
right? Like I know there are groups out there in the ether of Facebook. Like it's a whole all social media exists as like various solar systems,
Yeah.
and like you can spend all of your time on like a fiery planet of links and be like, this is garbage, and then you go back home and you're like, I'm never going back in space again. That place sucks, you know. But like the truth is there are other planets out there where people are actually engaging and like interacting in a positive, way and they're sharing books and they have like this atmosphere in which you could breathe, and actually survive and thrive. I'm sorry. This is just my life. I don't know.
Why apologize?
But I love you.
I love you so much. I love all your analogies and your brilliant brain.
So
Say more werewolf things.
So there are also some planets with many moons in which you will just be a werewolf 24/7, baby. No book selling allowed. There's nothing to do. If it has 3 moons,
Oh my god.
you're gonna be howling. That's all there is to it.
Holy
It's gonna be wild. So, for sure.
shit. Oh my god. I'm out. Goodbye.
But I do know that I do know there are a lot of people out there who will see the various places in Facebook, like the groups and such, and see that it's just a bunch, just a litany of just like a who's who of indie authors just dropping links and running.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
if you see that, recognize that it's a graveyard. It's an elephant graveyard of authors, and that's not the place to be because no one's making a single sale in those
Yeah.
particular places. That isn't to say that Facebook isn't a potentially profitable place. They all are.
Mhm.
Everything has its beautiful gardens that you can
Yeah.
find and help tend to and help, facilitate some sort of growth and like
Yeah.
get your delicious popcorn or whatever you're gonna grow.
100%.
I know you grow corn and I know it's a process, but I already said popcorn before. Do you understand? Like I jumped ahead of my metaphor. I don't know what you're gonna like, but just know that if something isn't particularly working for you in the moment, there are always different things you can try, and it's always okay to take a break and try something else.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Great advice.
there's no failure until you completely give up on writing. Marketing is only 20% of the job, and that's only I mean even that is a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to just be 100% a writer and forget that part of the
Yeah.
job because at the end of
Take
the
some days
day,
off.
yeah, at the end of the day we write because we love to write.
Yeah.
That's all there's to it.
100%.
So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you learned a little bit about marketing. If you have any suggestions for the viewers that we might not have said, please make sure you comment below. Let us know if you have any tips because we're about being as open and transparent as possible. We don't really care to gatekeep. We're here to share everything we learned through our trials and errors and successes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just told you how I blew $20,000 in like a
Exactly.
year because I was still learning how to do things. It sucked.
Yeah. So if you can help anyone else and help us, to not blow another $20,000 or any amount of money, please comment below. Let us know what you've learned, and we would love to learn from you, and we can all like help each other and grow together as writers and authors.
100%. And if you have any suggestions for topics that aren't related to marketing but are related to writing or creativity in
Yeah.
general that you'd like to see on the show, let us know in the comments or hit us up on Twitter at ORWW podcast, or you can go to at KT_Carlisle. That's CARLISLE. That is me.
You can also find me at Anthony Lafusi. I'll post the links below. I'm not going to spell it out in a cute sing-song way because I can't top that. Okay? All right? But thank you all for watching our show. Thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate all of you, and we'll be back soon with another video. What's a good way to, how do we like get out of our video?
Well, what did you say just now? You were like,
I was like,
thank
thank you
you
for
for
being,
loving us. Thank
thank
you
you
for
for being,
being here. The whole world's
thank
thanking, the whole world's thanking you, thanking us for thanking you.
kill the turkey.
Kill the video. Bob's Burgers, please don't sue us.
They won't sue us. They're fine. They
Lynn.
love us. Lynn. Oh, Lynn.
Oh, Bobby.
All right. Did we end it? Was that fine? I mean, I said thank you for watching our video.
Yeah,
Is there
thank you.
anything-
Yeah, thank you for watching our video. We'll be sure to put a new one out pretty soon. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share responsibly. Put that link underneath your post.
Yes.
Don't put it in the actual post. What did we just spend this whole time talking about here? That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway,
She's
love
just
you.
saying. All right. See you guys next time.
We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving us.